Let's go back.
And on that note, welcome back to the Unusual Prospects podcast. This is episode 4. God knows how we've made it this far. But on this special episode, we have 2 people who are very, very important to this gym. We've got Brad Pickett and we've got Barry Healy, who are 2 old men. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
Mr. Pickett, you're first. You're the main man.
What? Introduce myself.
Just introduce it. Whatever you want to say.
I know.
I
don't need an introduction.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm Brad Pickett. I'm the head coach here at GBTT. I am your boss. Yes. I am your father as well. You don't even know that. Yeah.
Wow, and this is a first. Groundbreaking news.
This is actually the second time that the discussion of your father's come up today.
Basically, I don't know my dad, so people like to, spring that in there.
I'm your probably non-biological dad then.
Yeah.
Brother, man.
No.
I've given you a lot of advice in and out of training.
Yeah, no, I'd say.
Brad's trying to
get emotional.
Saying that he slept with your mom.
Fuck it up. Fucking walk it out. Okay, and who's the
honestly, this I don't want to say it, but I got a feeling this podcast is going to be a disaster.
Hey, I haven't even introduced myself.
On that note, so we've got.
Let's introduce the person who's being pointed at.
Don't introduce me. I thought you were going to introduce me. I was going to say, don't introduce me as a boxing coach anymore because I am now a striking coach because I hold a kick shield.
Hey.
So, thank you.
Also, by the clapping, he is 10 weeks sober.
Hey. Nice.
I work out every day.
As calm heavy as ever.
Thanks for having me.
And we've got Barry Healy, and along with that, we have our usual people. We have
Liam, what's up, guys?
Is that your surname? My name's Liam. What's up, guys? That's a good surname, that one.
That was good. I like that.
Josh. I'm Josh. Thank you.
Yeah, Josh doesn't have an actual microphone. So
No, I don't have to hold this.
Josh was currently talking like it's like the 1970s and been wired up by the FBI. So he's like, I'm Joshua. Hello. I'm definitely. And I unfortunately helped.
Okay, I may help out a little bit with this podcast. So what's the agenda of the podcast? You got like a list of what we're doing, what you say, or is it literally all off the cuff?
Well, literally, yeah, that's the idea. To be honest, especially.
So you got no planning or no.
Well, I think
you must have known there's this super guests coming on your show.
Well,
I need to get this out.
Yeah, we looked up your IMDb.
We looked at you on IMDb. We do have some questions.
We've got a few questions written down.
100%. But to be honest, this kind of podcast, we just wanted to let it.
Where they're written down? Can I have a look?
No.
Yeah, so
you haven't written them down.
We have written them down.
No, we've written them down.
It's called revision.
It's called bullshit.
We'll see about that. But no, essentially on this podcast, we just chat a lot of shit, but we also just try to get deeper into things and figure out what MMA and this sport is all about. Right. As a veteran of yourself, you've been here, you've been in the ring, you've been in the cage. And I suppose now you're heading into that coach kind of.
I'm not heading there.
You're there. But you're still heading even more, you know.
Man.
I mean, how long have you been a coach as your title,
Well, coaching for me has always been part of my life, even when I was fighting. I always found it. I was very helpful in the gym. Would always help out where I can with techniques that people ask me. I was always probably one of the more experienced guys in the gym because I did travel around. Obviously, I went to spend a lot of my time out in the American top team, so I'd learn a lot of stuff there. Then when I came back here to UK, I used to obviously help people, show people, and stuff like that. So it was. I think coaching's either part of you, not part of you. Not everyone could be a good coach. Not everyone has that kind of thing, but two things is different from being a coach from when you're fighting to a coach. When you're not fighting is to be a good fighter you have to be very selfish to a degree, and to be a good coach you have to be selfless, so yeah, that's. But
you enjoy it. So what do you actually, and as well to Barry, so what do you guys actually enjoy? Because this is your job. Like, what do you actually enjoy about coaching? Like, what's something that because there's got to be something that keeps you coming back in and day out. Like,
only because I own this place. Nah, for me it's like it's. I'm always competitive. Like, I was a very competitive fighter when I was fighting, and now I kind of just compete for athletes. So I want my gym to be the best in London. Then I want it to be the best in the UK. Then I want it to be the best in Europe, and so on and so forth. I want it to, and my job to do that is to try and build the best sort of fighters within the team. So for me, it hurts when my fighters lose, and Barry would probably say the same. When your fighter loses, you think, shit, what did I do wrong? What did I do? Where can I like, you know? And it's hard. It's much when you're a fight, you're in there. You hold all the cards. And it's down to you if you win or lose. But with being a coach, you're not in there, and you can't control everything. So it's sometimes when something doesn't happen, you do feel very responsible. You know, you build good bonds here as well.
Yeah. Would you say the same, Barry, or would you say you just don't?
Yeah.
Keep it up more like,
From when you asked me the question, I actually trying to think of an answer as like because I haven't been asked that probably before, but.
And that's why we're a good podcast. You see, we ask the questions that you never
This is Barry's first podcast, but you know.
It's a good question.
One more round of
Shut the fuck up. No, I don't know. It just makes me happy. I just enjoy it. It's my passion, obviously. It's what I want to do, and like, as Brad knows, like it's frustrating when fighters don't listen or things don't go right. But when they do go right, it outweighs when it doesn't go right more so. Do you know, like even sparring, I was just thinking small things kind of are like, oh, it makes it so worth it. Like with Lonnie, you know, like with Lonnie's when the fighters in the gym, as you spar him all the time, Lonnie Kavanagh, he kind of asks me sometimes, can I watch around, you know? So I watch his round, and as he's sparring, he'll like look over for recognition, and it's like it's kind of like a homesome feeling, you know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know, I just love it. It's just my passion, and I enjoy it.
Well, yeah, because to be fair, we do, and I see that a lot. Even me as well. Sometimes, like during sparring, I will look out just to see, and I'm trying to stay like focused on my opponent. But we do look to you as guides in a way, because it is one of those things.
When I do it, I catch you looking at him. Look at your opponent and stop looking to see if I'm watching you. I get it, because it is. I was the same in my gym. Like, when someone's watching you, if it's a coach or if you bring 10 random people off the street into sparring. You're gonna spar a lot better, man. As I would always do. Like, I don't want to be looking shit in front of no one, so I'm gonna put on my A game. If it's the coach watching, or it's just people off the street, or it's 40,000 people in arenas, and when people are watching you, it makes it so much different. That's for me. That's where my competitive edge came out.
But see, that's the thing. Like, especially with the sparring side of it. I feel like MMA is so much more personal because we are a team in this, in a sense, you know, we are a team. So if I like knock down my sparring partner, I'm not gonna feel great, you know, because I like, oh shit, I wonder if they're okay. But like, and this is just coming from, I guess, a bit of ignorance. But you see with boxing, there's like a lot of private camps, and obviously sometimes you bring guys in. How have you kind of managed now the transition going from boxing to this MMA kind of, you know, team kind of sparring and things like that, or has it not been different?
Yeah, it's like so much easier for me because I'm just one part. I'm the boxing and kick pads, new striking.
Kickboxing. Yeah.
So
can you throw a kick though?
So like, no, but I lost my train of thought. What I was saying. Yeah, so in a way, it's much easier because I'm just. It's not everything's not down to me. But my professional boxers is 5 days a week, the same person. You just got to do the same work over and over again because you literally just throw punches. So it's like to be good at boxing is hard because it's like the same thing, and to try and teach them and stuff and try and keep them interested is hard. But yeah, I kind of find that it's hard. I feel bad for Brad, but there's like 40 people here. It's just a bit like crazy to teach. But like, yeah, it is different, completely different. But again, I would say, yeah, it's kind of a breath of fresh air for me because it's not like as intense as coaching the boxers, you know what I mean? Because I just say my piece. Yeah. Because I only have a piece. I'm not the whole main coach. So, yeah.
What would you be interested in venturing into wrestling? And you know, because you see in the warm-ups now as well, you're like, "You all right, guys? You stand up to takedown now." You say that.
I just said to Brad yesterday. I feel like I can give advice nearly for a full MMA round. When it gets really technical, like jiu-jitsu on the floor, I'll say, come on, let's work your way up. That's the best I can do. Like against the wall, like
covers all bases.
I feel like I know when to say to throw a knee if someone's against the cage, if you got someone against the cage, or trying to know.
But also, don't interrupt, but it's just common sense, isn't it? He's been a coach, and you can't know. You don't have to, even fans that are back home have never even trained a day in their life. can see if someone's winning or losing a fight, or winning or losing a round. So you'd be like, if he doesn't know the technical way, but he'd be like, no, come on, I need more. I need you to. Coach in sparring is not a technical thing. Coach in sparring is just trying to get the best out of that individual. Coach in a gym is technical sessions. When sparring happen, I don't tell you, right, I want you to throw a slip left cross, what you on about, or quick pass, some little intricate details. If I see something, I'll push the knee down, or go look for the wrist and that sort of stuff. But the majority of it is sometimes it's just having just general knowledge of someone winning or losing or getting the best.
And it's just more like mindset, right?
Just getting the best out of that individual.
Yeah. But for you, Brad, would you agree that, like, because your whole career was based on work rate, that's a bit harsh. A lot of your career, you'll say, was based.
Saying I was a very good fighter.
No,
I heard it.
You started at 26, yeah. So you even said a lot of it was the work you put in, the heart you had, the toughness you had. It's frustrating for you to see. To let that go in other fighters, as in you see fighters not working like you did, and it drives you crazy. So for me, I had 10 amateur boxing fights, so I can't say to them, I done this, I done that, I was the one. But for Brad, he's always like, well, if one of the fighters say to Brad, yeah, but my body, I'd want my body to break down and stuff, and then Brad's like,
shut the fuck up.
I done it.
But you expect them to be up to your standards, right?
Yeah, that's why you get so frustrated.
I'll be honest. I've learned to not hold people by my standards, because there's not many people who had my standards of work rate and effort and that sort of thing. For me, it is very frustrating, because there are so many talented guys in this gym, and some of them won't make it, because of work ethic, and this is why I try and drill so much in this gym is work ethic, like you can't subsidize anything but hard work, and it's hard because most people kind of turn up here just in the morning. I don't see what they do in the evening, so I'm not always with them. But when they're here, I expect hard work. This is not I've given people many speeches on the mat, and sometimes I like some of it kind of sticks in, but some I must just go out the window. Oh God, Brad's chatting again. But yeah, I was one of the hardest work. You ask anyone who coached me or trained me, I was one of the hardest workers in the gym, and that's, if you want to succeed in anything in life, you have to be one of the hardest workers. You don't have to be the most talented. It's so cliche. Hard work beats talent, because it does.
So you're saying if we called up anybody in American top team, if we called their number, it was like, aye, so was Brad Pickett hard worker?
Let's do it.
Yeah. I'll call my bro.
100%. Honestly, I mean, like, I don't even like deep but you can tell just by I am. I'm always the first one, never late to anything and I try and instill that in the people in the gym.
But Brad, as the head coach of the infants and
of course,
can I ask you a question?
Please.
Like, Brad's punctuality is fantastic, and he always on time. Why is Buddy always late for the kids' class? Brad tries to pin on Sarah. I don't know. You got anything to say about that?
It's very uncomfortable and frustrating, but it's coming back from school.
I'm just joking.
Yeah, but I mean, like, but the thing is, though, it's weird because your kids pick up on stuff, right? And same as coaching is, like, you coach your kids, and Buddy for some reason thinks it's okay to be late, and I'm like, no, Buddy, what are you doing with your life?
Brad.
Yeah, and you know how stressed I'm.
I've had a few words, Buddy.
Yeah. So you forgot to for Buddy I'm being his dad. I'm like, Buddy, it's not cool to be late. Buddy's such a sweet kid. So how I'm trying to drill it into him and say, Buddy, do you like being rude to people? He's like, no. When you're late, is rude. He's like, how? I mean, because someone expects you to be there for a certain time. If you're not there for that time, it is rude. And like, he's still. Why is it rude? I'm like, but obviously I'm back in
He'll get it.
Just quickly, Brad, going back to the coaching side of things for you. Out of everybody that you do coach here, is there anyone that you'd say reminds you of a young you?
A young me.
Wait. When you ask that, do you mean training wise? Or do you mean personality
just
wise?
Brad. A bit of everything, really. Just
video game wise.
There's a lot of difference, right? As in, like, I do see, obviously, a lot of people, when you train at a certain place, you do kind of pick things up off a coach, like, and if it is just technique wise or it's just mannerisms and stuff like that. You kind of get things off. And for me, I think stylistically is one thing. I think Nick Bagley in this gym has a very similar sort of style to how I fought, but he does not have my work ethic. He works really hard, but he doesn't have my mindset. He frustrates me sometimes. He doesn't listen, and that
too much weights.
Yeah, just literally, he's got weights Tourette's. You know, he wakes up and just sees the dumbbell, picks it up, and needs to pick. I'm making fun of him today. Like everything he does, he just lifts weights. Anyway,
this is perfect, by the way, because we had Nick on one of the episodes. I think it was episode 2. So if you guys remember Nick Bagley, this is the guy.
But
that was a boring episode.
Yeah. Stylistically, I think he has similar sort of traits to me. I think. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people. I
think Claire a little bit. I think Claire's like a stylistically female version.
As a female version of me, stylistically, she has a very similar boxing sort of wrestling.
With that uppercut in there as well.
Yeah, and again, going back to your coaching side of things, like when we drilled something like that, and then she pulled it off in a fight and knocked that girl down, then that's. Going back to that, that's brilliant. When you go, oh wow, we worked on that move.
Yeah.
As in, like, obviously, everyone more famous version of it. When you saw like Masvidal practicing like the jumping knee before his Ben Askren fight, and he pulls it off. That just goes viral, doesn't it? You know, that sort of thing. So it is cool when you do that sort of thing. But yeah, in the gym, I kind of like. This is what's good about this sport. Everyone has their sort of unique sort of styles. Don't get me wrong. I show them all technique, and. They learn that sort of stuff. They have my skills, but then they have their own little sprinkle on it and do their own thing. I always say to everyone, like, I've said this a few times, like, you have a book of knowledge, and I may take 1 page from your book, 2 pages from Barry's book.
Okay, wait. Why 1 page from mine and 2 from Barry's?
That's right. I mean, that's right.
Which part of the book?
I'm not happy about that.
I mean, because obviously
I can't write, so there's no way.
It's an audio, but proper book.
But when it comes to like fighting, you know, there's very stylistic moves sometimes to do with body types, weight classes, and that sort of thing. So like, you will pick your bit elsewhere, and then you're still developing your book.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I still have mine, but. You're trying to add things to your book, and then now you're going to teach that to the younger generation, and that's it. And the beauty of this is like this sport. What makes it so good? It's not like karate or anything like that, where it's like you do the same moves and then they get passed down. Everyone does something different. This sport's ever evolving. Like when I fought back in the WC, you saw Showtime Pettis run up the cage. Kick like, oh my days, and then next week in the gym everyone's run up a cage trying to kick people and that's what it is. And now there's these things called a buggy choke. I mean, what the flip is that? You know, like, it's ever for evolving. This is why I think this sport is amazing, because the limited rule set gives you more freedom to express yourself, where if you're tied into don't get me wrong, boxing, I love the sport, it's a limited rule set, right?
There's so much you can do.
There's only so much you can do. And that's why, let's say, Barry says he did find it very boring, because, like, how many times you could teach your guy to jab, because now he could jab. Then you're like, what am I going now? Oh, cross, But now, all these boxers, that stage where the pro or guy in the turn pro, they should have good technique. They've done it for years. So then it's like, how am I going to add to this?
There's only 2 like exciting stages in a boxer's career, from professional onwards. Is that the first year or 2 where they're developing to hit harder and become a professional boxer, like learn the tricks of the trade as a pro, and then you kind of fight journeyman for a while, and then it only gets exciting again when you actually have 50-50 fights, where at least you can work a game plan. Okay, you might have showed them how to hook, how to throw the uppercut, how to move your head. But at least then you have game plans for big fights.
Set up,
But for that period in between, it's boring. It's boring. It's just fighting the same kind of journeyman over and over again. It's methodical, and that's why a lot of boxers move on from trainers, because I feel like they want to get a new
look.
Which is fair.
They get bored of their girlfriend.
I have a question for you. If you were to start your career in today's sport, because it's obviously ever changing. There's new techniques, there's new styles.
It's way better now.
Yeah.
Basically what you're trying to say.
There's new weight classes, there's new body types in every division.
New patch.
How different do you think your story would be?
Not much.
No.
But you would have had to start from younger, correct? You definitely wouldn't be number 5 in the world.
It's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yes and no.
That's not discredit to you.
I
Yeah,
don't think so. No, because like going back to saying about technique, you don't need to know everything to be good at something. You know, I was very good at a handful of things, and I took them to the highest level. You know, I don't need to cloud my brain with 70 different techniques in a certain position when I just get good at 2. So cliche to say. Bruce Lee said, "Fear a man who's practices a kick 1,000 times. Don't fear a man who's practices 1,000 kicks once." So I mean, I was very good at what I did, and I could implement that. And the next thing I had, which you could never fucking teach no one, I could take a punch. I was tough as fuck. So like, in the end of the day, we're in a punch your face sport. If you can hit me with your hardest shot, and I'm like, "Let's go,"
Yeah.
and you're like, "Oh shit." Boom.
Yeah.
There's different. That's the difference of this sport. You know, it is a lot of toughness is in this sport. When boxing, toughness is there as well, but you can still get pieced up, and lose a decision and get beat. But in my sport, you get hit a few times and you just come forward. I just know that I'd be able to break people just with my sort of pressure. So I fought even to
what about on a skill set level?
On a skill set level, there was so many better people. Imagine me going to American Top Team the first time. I didn't even know how to fucking wrestle. And I'm like, I'm going to beat you guys. I was turd. I didn't wrestle. I came from England. I went there. And I wrestled everyone out. You know, it's just because my mindset and my work ethic. I never wrestled in a day of my life before I stepped in the American Top Team. And I mean, without saying it, I wrestled with everyone I fought in the UFC. You know, like who just because my mindset is different. You know?
So where's that mindset coming from? Where is that mindset then?
Honestly, it's my competitive edge. You know, like I compete, and it's hard to say. It's like you got to be dumb to be tough. That's to a certain degree, but I don't think I was ever a dumb fighter. I thought I was very intelligent.
You're pretty good at chess, so I mean,
yeah.
I'll give you that.
Now, this is human chess now we're talking about. But like,
You used it before, but it's fine.
but like it's like for me, it's like going back to saying, being tough is so important. Being able to mentally get inside your opponent's head. I mean, I was like so cliche. I've seen so many good fighters. I've trained with guys within the gym at American Top Team, and they're fucking good. But I'm like, I will crush you in a real fight, a real life situation. I will break you. You know, like it is different. You know, like it is so much different. And I don't know how. I mean, it's weird. I don't know how I trained my mind like that. I don't know how it was like that. But all I knew in my head is, if I fight you and you start to fight me, you know, you're in a fight because I am not stopping. You know? And then I was never scared. I was way more scared when I boxed. Yeah. Way more scared. I was so nervous as shit boxing. I had a few amateur fights and I was petrified. You know, like as soon as you got the little call, oh, you got to fight in 6 weeks or whatever it was, or 4 weeks. I'm like, I couldn't sleep. And I was nervous as anything. But MMA, no, I wasn't scared of anyone because I'm like, everyone's scared of me. Because I'm going to try and knock your head off, and I'm tough. You know, that's. I mean, you may not even be scared of me, but my mindset told me that. So I didn't really worry. I mean, like, Do
you remember being like that, like when you were a kid? Do you remember just always having that about you, or was there something in particular?
Like, oh, fucking fight! Fucking give me back my pencil case.
I wasn't a violent kid. I was far from it. I mean, like, I learned how to fight 2 ways just by default, so you didn't have to fight. People leave you alone because they just leave you alone if you get tough. But then also I kind of weirdly use it as a vigilante tool to look after other people, you know, because I hate bullies and that people. Then I used to go for them and like, leave that guy alone, what are you doing, that kind of thing. But I just kind of like, I was competitive. Like I say, it's my competitive. I mean, if I could have earned money while I was playing football, I would have been a football player. You know, I played football at not a bad level, but that was my thing. But I played all sports. I played football, cricket, basketball, rugby, hockey, you name the sport. Netball. I would go and play netball. Do you want a netball game? Yeah, cool. I'll go play. I'll play netball. You know, I'll play any sport.
Tiddlywinks.
You name a sport, and do you know what? The same thing. I'll beat at that. And the worst thing with me is, I was a bad loser, not a sore loser. I found that a big difference. Where people, if you beat me, I'd be like, all right, cool, well done. I'll come back for you and beat you. But I'm not gonna go.
This ain't over.
You beat me, yeah, but you know, it's like my knee was a bit sore that day. You know, yeah, boom, I hate that. You know, like I don't like that. I just like, okay, cool, beat me, and I'll come back. You know, it's just like, I think it's just me. I was just super competitive as a kid. I put a lot of that down to having an older brother. I think my brother made me how I am. You know, we competed so much. You know, for instance, in cricket, he was a batsman. I was a bowler because he wanted to be a batsman, so I had to always bowl. You know, so he chose what he wanted to be, and then I just became a bowler. You know, so yeah, I think my brother. I owe a lot to my brother in that aspect.
Shout out Russell.
Man.
Yeah, Russell. Yeah.
I was okay. I'm sorry, Barry.
No, I was going to say it'd be interesting to see if any other fighter, definitely who's got to the level Brad's at, start in the UFC, started at the age 26.
Jimmy Manuel started older than me.
Okay, you suck.
But it's just explosive power, isn't it?
You just ruined your whole legacy. You should have said no one else.
Yeah, true.
No.
But it's definitely not Manny though. Especially lower weight. Heavyweights can start.
I mean heavyweights can. Do you know what I mean, light heavyweights. But yeah, it is impressive for someone your
was he ranked quite high, that guy? Jimmy
Manuel, he was decent.
Top 5 as well.
Yeah, he was good. Yeah, Jimmy Manuel was good.
Yeah.
He's
Tumoring
a little bit, but
without sounding so freaking gay, age is a number, you know. Like for me,
that's not gay. That's something else, bro. That's another word we're gonna feed. That's not gay.
That's what I'm saying. Is like without using the old cliche thing, age is just a number, but it's so true. Is like I didn't. Me now, I'm 43. I don't think I'm 43. I act like a child half the time, you know. So like, I mean, if you start acting old, you become old. You see those people. Most people, when they retire, die. You know, like, they just go away somewhere and just like sit down. No, I'll keep moving until the day I do die. You know, like. For me, I don't think I'll ever retire. You don't. You just keep moving. You keep doing stuff. Right?
And on that note, I'd like to wish Claudio Hannibal Silva a happy retirement.
And
best of luck in post-career.
I retired from MMA, but
you're still coaching.
I'm way more busy now than I ever was when I was fighting.
So are you planning on staying in coaching until...
until I reach until I'm UFC champion.
I would be in this gym. Kind of I'd be in this gym all the time. You know, like even when I can't physically. Obviously, I'll have people like I've coached for years, and many people here coach elsewhere, and like do the things that I've shown them. I had a laugh with Kadeem earlier. Like I saw on his Instagram and coaches, and I was like, "You're doing all my moves. What you doing?" You know, like showing up. But it is so. I will then. When I can't physically able, I would pass that part on to other people who can, but then I'll still be in coaching people what to do in sparring 100%. You don't have to, be physically able to do stuff, even though yet again still I do. Like today, I just didn't do much because I'm not in shape. I've done a couple of rounds today, good for first couple of minutes, then I gassed. But but I still like to jump in.
Still submitted Nathaniel twice.
Oh shit!
Do you still get once? Do you still get the kind of itch? Do you kind of sometimes go, oh, maybe one more?
Wait, can we clarify the itch?
Yeah, what's the itch?
What kind
of
itch? Because
competitive itch. I mean,
actually, I wasn't thinking that.
I was ready to open up.
I got the queen for that other itch.
Okay, we'll talk after.
I got it. You recommended me. Well, you might give it to me. But anyway.
Wow.
Daddy.
Brad. So,
I want to raise now.
Hang on, can you answer that? Can you answer that question first?
What's that?
Competitive
Fucking
itch.
hell, Jesus. All right.
Competitive itch, you still get it?
Nowhere near as much as I did. So this is another thing that I always talk about, which is so... people don't understand it from the outside. People watch this sport from the outside and stuff like that. That guy should retire. He needs to retire. It's so hard to say that, right? When... sometimes as a fighter, that is all you know. And it's not like any other job out there where at the age of 33, 35, you got to start again somewhere. When you're 30 to 35 to 40 in most demographics jobs, you either own a company or you're high up a company.
Yeah.
You're not starting out. So then being in a job where now you're gonna retire and you got to start again is so daunting for a lot of fighters. So that's why sometimes they just carry on fighting until the wheels fall off, right?
Also, how many fighters did you know personally that, maybe including yourself, that kept fighting for a paycheck?
Me,
Yeah,
100%.
that's the thing. That's where it gets dangerous.
100%.
That is where it gets dangerous.
For me, this is why I retired as well. 'Cause I towards the end of my career, I kind of fell out of love with it. I wasn't when I felt part of my durability went. It took away me as a fighter, where I'm like I could, I was fearless. Then I'm like, oh shit, I'm a bit vulnerable, and he took my fighting style away. So I wasn't.
You weren't going to go boxing on the back foot and.
It's just circling and jabs,
Can I
circling and
ask
jabs.
a question then, real quick? Just so, I don't know if it's too personal or not, but if you had the choice again, when do you think you would have retired? Because obviously you said that you felt
It's
a little
hard,
bit
right?
anxious.
After you
about
beat
it.
Demetrius.
No, when I failed at flyweight, because then for me, I was, let's say, in any sport you do, you have to be motivated.
Sure.
Depends what motivates you. You're either motivated by competition, you're motivated by money, you're motivated by family. You have to be motivated. It's not an easy job to do on your body. You have to find motivation. Me always was motivated by competition. I didn't give a shit about money. Because I'm just concentrating on beating the best people. If I beat the best people, I'll get paid accordingly. If I go in the UFC and become 10-0, I'll be on good money. If I go in there and I think about the money too much and then I lose a few fights and get kicked out, I'm earning no money.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like I was always competition driven, trying to be the best. And that's what happened when I had probably in my career I had about 4 title eliminator fights. First one against Scott Jorgensen in WEC. I got beat by that. He went on and fought for the title. Then I fought Henan Bryan, my UFC debut. He beat me. He got a title shot. Then I fought Malcolm McDonald. Same thing. So I had so many title eliminator fights. Eddie Wineland, same thing again. I lost a split decision to him on the New Year's Eve card, which I still to this day thought I won that fight. He beat me. He got a title shot. So I was always there.
I was hurt that you never.
I sucked.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm like, okay, I beat the champion, Demetrius Johnson, who fights now at
One FC now.
no, but fights at 125
Yeah,
pounds.
Right.
I will go down a weight class and fight him. Fuck me, it was not easy. But what was I? Motivated. I would now lose this weight. And I showed people pictures of it. Like I was 6.3% body fat, and I was 8 weeks out from my fight, 6.3% body fat, and I still weighed 145 pounds, 20 pounds, of my weight class, and I was 6.3% body fat.
Jeez.
Right? So it was not easy, but I was dedicated because yet again, I was driven not by the money I could make going down to flyweight, no, by I want to be number one in the world. I didn't want to be that guy in the gym going, you know what, if I went down a weight class, I would have beat Demetrius and be number one in the world. I didn't want to be that woulda, shoulda, coulda kind of guy. I hate that. I wanted to try and do whatever I could within my career to be number one in the world. Did happen. But you know what? I tried my best. Then once I went down to that weight class, found that weight class didn't really suit my fighting style. Everyone just ran away for 15 minutes, sucked ass. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll go back up a weight class. That's when it became a bit more of a job for me, and it was just a job. And then that's when I'm like, part of me thought I should have ducked out. Okay. But yeah, again, going back to what I said before, it's hard to duck out when I'm earning life-changing money. I've built myself up to that sort of part. I'm earning more money in one night of fighting than most people earn in 2 years. Why would I stop?
Yeah.
You know, why would I stop when I've got a kid and I'm like, I can set this kid up. I need to try and do things for him. I'm not fighting for myself anymore. And that's when sometimes your motivation deters. I wasn't motivated by competition. I was more motivated by trying to provide for my family and that sort of stuff. So that's why it became a bit more of a job for me, and yeah. And
but talking about the career, okay, let's just imagine here a parallel universe.
Baz got something ready.
No, I'll be waiting for this. But let's just imagine a parallel universe, right? Because as you mentioned, you used to box, right? You used to do a bit of boxing, amateur boxing, but you used to box. Let's imagine this is a new universe where Barry meets a young Brad Pickett.
Yeah.
He picks him up off the street and goes, "Hey, yeah, I can't do your accent. I was going to try to do your accent, but you got talent, kid. How far could you take a prime fucking let's go Brad Pickett
I'll be honest with
in
you,
boxing? How far do you think you could take it if you was a coach?
I wasn't a good boxer.
No?
No, I was a brawler. I had 10 amateur fights, so I was 10-1. But I weighed 56, 55 kilos. I was 19 years of age. Imagine how skinny that is.
Yeah.
But I used to knock people out with 10-ounce gloves and headgear. I was just tough. And I wasn't technical.
Well, maybe that's where Barry would come in. Barry would change your ways.
Yeah,
I mean,
I was just tough.
He would teach
but
you.
But when I
you
look
know?
at my old boxing, I wasn't good.
Yeah.
I got good in boxing by training MMA. You learn. You just training. You know, like Conor McGregor didn't box, but he can box through MMA. You pick things up. You're not stupid. A punch is a punch, right? So for me now, one sport I think I would have been really good at, which is the sport now, which it wasn't back then, would be bare knuckle boxing. I think I would have been really, with my fighting sort of style, and yeah, again, being how tough I was, I think bare knuckle boxing I would have been really good at. You know,
If I trained Brad as a boxer, I think I would change him to southpaw, put him boxing on the back foot. I think that would have suited him. But no, I honestly think Brad would do good in any sport with that mindset. But in boxing, you cannot start boxing at 26 at at that weight, at a flyweight or a bantamweight.
Yeah.
But that's why I got into MMA, because I did box from the age of 19 to 21. Then I ruptured my ACL playing football, and then I tried to get back into boxing. I went to Canning Town, and I was boxing, and then no one gave me any attention. They looked after all the kids, but of course they can just look after kids. So I just got so bored of just hitting a bag and not doing much. I'm like,
Fuck it.
oh, this sucks. Let me go try something else. And I went and go try MMA. I remember my first MMA session. I went there. Some 16-year-old kid called Mark Babyface Smith, beat the shit out of me. Absolutely. His mum was watching, sitting on the chair, and he just
Proudest punch.
battered the crap out of me. And gave me a bleeding nose and everything. And yet again, me being competitive, I'm like, I need to learn this
So I can beat
as a
this shit.
life skill. Do you know, not as a life skill. I need to learn this because I cannot have someone out there doing this to me. So that's when I think. And then obviously back then it wasn't a sport like it is now. But that again, my competitive edge. I'm like, I just need to learn this for like a life skill.
Brad, so obviously you've broken your nose, right?
Yeah.
Funny enough, not through fighting.
No.
What hits harder, your opponents or the basketball?
It technically wasn't even a basketball.
You did that well.
That was good. That was good, man. That was
No,
good.
it wasn't a basketball. I actually hit my face on the of an archway of a door. The ring was above the
Oh
doorway.
yeah, fuck.
And I was looking at the ring and not the doorway. And then as I went to dunk it, the doorway was the level of my face, and it smashed. Bomb. But then also it did knock me out. So then I'm like, yeah, I'm tough.
Fuck you, doorway.
Okay.
I had like 7 or 8 stitches in my nose and 9 stitches under my eye.
Brad 1, doorway 0.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the thing is, I was supposed to be doing community service, painting walls in a school.
Oh
And
shit.
I got
Did
bored.
you get out of it?
Just fucking about.
I got bored and yeah, done that. But then my mate saw me do it.
Yeah.
And literally was just pissed himself laughing. And I remember coming up and holding my nose like this. And I think I bumped my nose. He goes, let me have a look. He goes, yep. Yeah, he's like, the nose is over there somewhere. Yeah.
And obviously we've got 2 young guys here. I mean, it's called the unusual prospects because
They look very unusual.
you can
Can you elaborate
understand
on
that,
that?
yeah.
Genetics.
Can you elaborate on
Liam,
that?
you don't want him to elaborate
No,
on it.
I don't need
There's
to
some things that are
elaborate.
just going to come out you're not gonna like.
No one purposely dyes their hair ginger.
It's not...
Whoa, what's wrong with gingers?
It's definitely.
What's wrong with ginger?
No, okay.
Which one are you talking about?
You're ginger by
you're
choice.
you're
You
naturally
don't
freaky.
choose to be ginger. Who
It's
chooses?
not ginger.
That
What is it
ginger.
then?
Not. It's a golden blonde.
No,
It's not
it's
golden.
blonde.
What the
It's
fuck is
blonde.
that kind of a
That is
colour?
not.
I would say bronze.
It
Bronze.
depends. It depends on the lighting.
Yeah,
Rust.
Ginger.
It's rust colour.
Metallic.
Rust.
Autumn
Rust.
sunrise.
And
What
also,
inspired you, by the way,
get
with that
this,
haircut?
like,
Sorry.
like, it's the oldest 19-year-old person I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I could show.
Thank you. Why? Because I've
Hang
got
on,
a
hang on.
beard.
No,
Because
no,
I have a
hang on.
beard.
He's not
always
at
said-
19.
I've
Whoa,
always-
hang
I've
on.
always said-
Did you mean mentally?
Exactly.
No, but
Mentally?
I've always said with his
Whoa.
beard, doesn't he look like a Jewish Dagestani?
No, actually, well,
He looks
like
no,
a- what the fuck you
like
look
a-
no,
He's got some weird
he
genetics.
looks, yeah, he acts like a 12-year-old.
Thank you.
By
Hey,
choice.
You can take your celebration
By
back now.
choice.
But it, no, it makes
What
you
do
a
you mean
better
by choice? You
assistant
choose
kids
to act
coach,
like a tit.
Yeah,
By being a 12-year-old, you relate to them better to the
Right.
kids, so it's
That's
a
what Michael
makes you a
Jackson
better
used to
coach,
say.
you know? Huh?
That's what
I'll
Michael
give you a,
Jackson
I'll
said.
give you a,
It's
I'll
not
give you
an
a
alibi.
picture and you can
I heard it
guess,
from Jimmy.
guess how old I am here.
Okay.
No, I know.
Right?
You look like Zach Mounder there a little bit, I think.
You kind of do.
Who?
Yeah,
Who's
Zach
Right.
Mounder.
How old
Yeah.
am I
Right,
there?
I'm
Who the
gonna
fuck
go
is Zach
with.
Mounder?
I'm gonna go with.
He's on the team, isn't he?
Yeah, he's one,
Yeah.
he's one of the boys on the team,
him.
in case you
Yes,
guys
I do
want
know that.
up and coming
20.
fighter in GBTT.
You say I'm 20.
Yeah, roughly. I'd say.
How
20.
do you reckon I'm there?
16.
16?
Nah. I don't know, I want to say like 14, 15, something like
14, 15.
that.
Can I show it a camera, this one here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I see it?
I wasn't shown this before.
Is your nose broken there or not? I
Yeah,
can't
it
tell.
is, yeah.
It is? Okay.
Oh,
Oh, fuck,
Yeah.
man. I don't know. 17?
analysing this.
They had.
23.
No way.
There's kids in my year that you look older.
There's
than
still
that.
hope, guys.
That looks older than
I
that.
look older, yeah.
I've got a
So,
picture
guys,
of mine.
ready? A career fighting, guys.
Yeah,
You know,
fair enough.
age.
Maybe we should look
Yeah,
into
but-
like
So
something
I was
else.
saying, no, you're the oldest 19-year-old I've ever seen in my life. And I'm 23 there.
Yeah. How does that make you feel? Damn.
Did you ever have a kind of uphill paper round?
Huh? No, okay, right. To be honest, right now I think it's a good thing. I like it. Maybe in 20 years' time we'll see. Hopefully,
the thing
it
is,
kind of goes the opposite way.
You say you
What
like
goes the
it.
opposite way?
It's about everyone else.
The age
Yeah.
thing is, I don't mind. I like looking older for my age now. I'm saying in 20
Like
years'
getting
time.
the
Yeah,
clubs,
that's true.
the
I'm
clubs and stuff like that. Yeah, don't get asked
Yeah.
ID. But then also, you'll
Yeah,
be
Lynn's a big
careful
clubber.
because
I got asked.
I'll be
for
honest
ID,
with you, your girlfriend looks very young, right? And you look old. You may get in trouble.
Do you know what? I'm not gonna lie.
Something
He has
you
a
will
point.
get.
You
I'm
know,
not gonna lie. Being honest.
the
Just
You
carry,
may-
kind of
carry your
the
passport
substitute
around
guys,
you all the
the
time.
It's
substitute
legal,
teacher.
but he
Yeah.
could get in trouble.
You
What's
mean like-
legal in this country? I mean,
The substitute teacher like looks after the wrong class. They catch a gaze across a crowded classroom.
Do you know, funny enough, I actually did get ID'd the other day. In
I got ID the
Sainsbury's,
other day. I'm
right?
not even gonna lie. I got
I
ID the other day.
said, I've got a beard. I was just trying to buy a Monster.
You any
I
idea
said,
how
"I've
many
got a beard."
13-year-olds have got
Monster, you have to
beards?
be 16,
No,
14,
that's
16.
crazy.
16.
16.
I walked into Sainsbury's the other day. They didn't ask me one question. They said over 25.
They probably saw your cauliflower. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
No,
where's
but
yours?
it's-
Tiny.
you,
I don't.
you look older than 15, but you don't.
You look older than
You
15.
don't look
Yeah.
older. You look younger than
I don't know.
12 by
I'd
far.
say 16. I'd look
yeah,
at him and say
yeah,
16.
you don't look
Yeah.
old any.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you still look like a teenager, 100%.
Yeah, yeah.
But
You
this
look like
guy
you grew up
here
next to a
looks
nuclear
like,
power plant.
looks
rather
like
than
he
that.
smokes 40 a day.
Rothmans.
Has a pipe and a paper.
Yeah, you would see
I
that.
can
You would
imagine
see
you in like a
pipe. I can see
smoking
like a
jacket,
pipe.
like sat there, like with like chocolate milk in a cognac glass.
Sure.
That kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Can we go back 2 minutes where Brad was showing a picture what he looked? Can I show you what I looked like when I was a teenager?
Please.
I the
Well,
worst
Is it going to be your face?
clothes ever. And also, before I show this picture, I had this bad habit of licking my lips like all time until they were red. I had flare jeans, rock and roll t-shirt, and red lips.
I'm ready
Can you
to
tell us how? Well, I guess how. Oh my day! Look at those
The length of the
flares.
flares. What is that? They're
What
supposed to
is
go
that?
past the shoes.
And you
What's wrong with
criticise
you?
me for baggy clothes.
They're like
I'm
ankle
sorry.
swingers.
Nah,
They're just
nah.
swinging.
I
That's
swear
insane.
to God, I would imagine you
my
like
life
with a
into
group, with a
It
group
explains
of
the
other
music on the
kids,
speakers now.
like a seaside.
How
or
old
like
were
a-
you there? You like 14?
20.
No,
No,
fuck off,
I
mate.
reckon I think 12.
What sort of
13.
music were you into then?
Guns N' Roses. I wanted to be Axl Rose. Really.
Wanting to be
I
Axl
was
Rose.
obsessed with him.
Did Axl Rose ever look like that? I don't think so.
No. It was the transition.
The one before Chinese.
I mean, if we're going around the table, James, do you have?
fuck
Did
no.
they have
They should
cameras
be-
back then?
Everything was burnt. Everything was burnt. I don't have any
How old are
kids.
you, James?
42.
You're younger than me.
Oh, thanks.
So I'm the oldest here.
Yeah, sorry.
Are you sure?
I'm the youngest.
Well, I don't
Well,
look the oldest.
if counting works, yes.
I would say I don't look the oldest here.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, wow.
I think
Why did you assume they were
Don't
Steve?
even.
Why did you think it was going to be
I
Barry?
mean, I don't know.
Yeah, no, by a couple.
on,
I think I look younger than both of you.
Are you telling Brad looks?
I've got a fat face, so it hides the wrinkles. So I don't know. I don't know about that.
I think.
Is this the competitive edge coming out again? It's like,
100%.
I'm looking at you.
100%.
Yeah.
I think.
Don't worry, it's okay.
You're listening. I'm not joking though. You probably may look a little bit hooey, but remember what happened in America? That actually they thought you were like 47.
Who thought you were 47?
The waitress. We done the same thing. As me, Salman, and Mark, and that, and we went. He was the oldest.
Oh, Barry.
Did they offer you like the early bird?
I think.
Did he
I
get,
won.
Did they offer him like the early bird special?
Salman.
Sorry, sir.
Hey, he was older. I think he was the same age. They thought they were the same age as Salman. Salman's in his 50s.
Yeah.
Hard
Well,
life.
Yeah, we was in Hooters.
Oh, yeah, actually, nice. Was she hot?
She fancied me, obviously.
She found out, did she? Okay.
That's why she gave
The
me.
competitive
Oh,
mindset.
as to be fair, that's a good point as well. Obviously we're young, we're trying to build up our careers, we're trying to, and you know, you look at other sports like basketball, right, NFL kind of things. You probably get the ladies. Is MMA a sport that kind of attracts the women kind of thing? You get up there, would you say?
Who cares?
Sure, yeah, no,
Rounds
me
of-
neither. Anyway,
honestly, I'm being serious. It's like,
Who does care?
just, if you want to be successful, man, you got to concentrate on yourself.
Right.
Okay, I've been a bit of a dick, but like,
So
I mean,
Brad
like,
never
you
lost his virginity until he was. When did you retire?
26 when he started MMA.
Yeah. But no, for me, no, seriously, it's like you got to have. I've been lucky where I've had some girlfriends that when I was fighting, my first real girlfriend I kind of met was Sarah, and I've been with her ever since. And like she's been yet again a very important part of my journey because she supported me. Like she saw like I say, back in those days it wasn't a job, and then she saw the potential. She sent me out to America to live there for a year, right? So just imagine that someone having this, and he was like.
I'm just saying, I don't think that was out of the goodness of her heart. I think she wanted to fucking get this guy out of here. Yeah, you can go to America. Why don't you do like a pre-camp? Yeah, for like.
No, but honestly, but it's hard because I used to go to when I first met Sarah. Literally like 2 weeks afterwards, I'm like, I'm going to America for 8 weeks, and I did. You know, and one of those things that sometimes maybe the absence makes your heart grow fonder.
Yeah.
You know, it was good. You know, like. But I had to concentrate on me.
Yeah.
You know, if I wanted to be, like I say, to be a successful fighter, you have to be very selfish. So you get some girls that don't want you to do too much, or they get just. My advice is, I had two like proper long-term girlfriends. I've had other girlfriends. Don't get me wrong.
Nice.
And there was one before, right? There's one.
Oh, sorry.
Well, you want a serious conversation?
Yeah, no, I do.
But one before didn't support me in a way that it was hard because she didn't have a life outside of me. So I would go and this is when I'm playing football and stuff. I go and train, and she's just sitting there waiting for me. I come home and she's when you back? I'm like, where Sarah, she go out with her friends. She had hobbies. She done her own thing. And I think that's very important because then she's not just waiting on me, like sort of thing. So I say to be successful, and it's so cliche again. Behind every successful man, you know, it's one of those ones where like you do have to find someone who's going to support your goals, and she did. You know, I've been with her. Can't remember how long I've been with her since 2000.
Well, we actually we
six.
did our research. You guys got married 2013. So.
Yeah, but I've been with her before that.
That just saved your ass.
No, they all got married in 2013.
I
I buddy in 2015, but I first met her in 2006.
Nice.
5 actually, 2005.
Yeah.
So I've already been with her 8 years before we got married.
Yeah.
So
How did you propose to her? What was your?
Oh yeah.
Actually, no, I did. I took her to Richmond Park because this is where I got one of my other houses is on the outside of
My other
Richmond
house.
Gate.
Yeah.
That's where me and Sarah used to live. We still got that place, but it's right next to. It's the Kingston side of Richmond Park. So I used to go a lot of runs around Richmond Park. We spent a lot of time in Richmond Park, and then so she fucking knew. So I mean, like, I just knew what I was doing. It's like I tried to make it. Let's go for a walk.
It's hard to.
Right, mate, especially when she knows me so well.
Violinist hiding behind a tree.
But then what I did, I took for a walk around the park, and then I had Louis. I didn't have Bonnie at the time. I had Louis, which was my mother-in-law's dog, and I had like the ring around his neck, sort of thing. So like I went to like a certain bench in the park, and then I called him. I went, "What's he got on his neck? It's weird." And then I pulled down and I proposed to her. And then the other side of the park is where I had all of her friends and her family, her mum and her dad, my brother and that all there. So we were there and like champagne.
What Brad was saying about she knew. I was just saying when I asked my missus to marry me 2 years ago. I remember I set the whole day up again. Pretty obvious what was happening. Like went to the park, had some drinks up, and her friend was setting up our house with like, "Will you marry me?" thing. But if I get something in my head, because I've got like ADHD and stuff, if I have to say something, I have to say it. So we're having champagne in the park, which we never do this, so it's kind of obvious anyway. And I said to her, I was like, "Oh, it's so shit." I was like, "If I asked you to marry me, what would you say?" Like 2 hours before I asked her, and she was like, "What?" I was like, "Nothing."
What the fuck?
Wait, what did she say though? Did she say yes?
No, I think she said yes. Then
Thank fuck for that, because you could have.
So yeah.
What would you have done? Yeah, I mean,
if that wasn't like an alarm bell, like going, I'm not so sure about this one.
Yeah, then we've been trouble.
guys, it's off.
Yeah. Abort.
Oh yeah,
But it is nerve-wracking though.
Quick, get a refund for all those bottles of champagne.
Yeah, it is nerve-wracking though.
Yeah.
It is.
But you've also got a kid on the way, right?
Yeah.
Soon.
It's scary for a kid bringing up a kid.
Especially when their dad is Barry. I made myself sound really weird there.
Who gets changed?
We're gonna play this.
Sorry, I don't know why I made myself sound so weird.
We're gonna play this in a couple of years' time. Alright, it'll be fine.
There you go, Junior. This is what happened.
Yeah.
In a couple of years' time, fast learning to they understand Barry.
Well, they'll both be learning to read at the same time, so that'll be all good.
That's good.
True.
So how did you guys meet?
Grindr.
You beat me to it.
Oh, you mean? Oh, I thought you meant those two. I was gonna say.
You seemed like pleasantly surprised. Like, oh yeah.
Oh wait, you as well as
You too, but you thought.
No, I thought when he said, "How did you guys meet?" I thought it was about you two, and then he said,
I kind of.
You two are getting quite red though.
He was talking about us, and I made a joke saying Grindr.
Fuck's sake.
This guy is
sake.
the sharpest.
Do you know what the funny thing was? So Liam has this thing where he like records videos and just sends them to us like randomly. It's why he's banned from my Instagram. I've banned him.
You said you was gonna
irritates the piss out of me. Anyway, so it's this video of him. He sent us this morning. He goes, "It's really cringy, but I'm sending it anyway." So he said it, and he seemed like fucking talking, just like getting things off his chest.
He's like under his sink or something.
Yeah, he's under his sink, and he turns it around, and it's a fucking pipe that just says vent. So he's obviously trying to say I'm venting, not realising it's a fucking pipe. It's like me like doing something on a refrigerator and then writing something different on there.
I didn't write it.
The way you're, I don't care who wrote it. It was still wrong.
It was just there. That's fine. I just opened
What
it
the
up.
fuck? It's
It's
like adopting a child.
Since he kind of knew that I liked to was some
dad jokes.
No, dad jokes for one.
Yeah,
but then or
riddles.
Yeah, riddles is the fact.
Yeah.
He'd come in my room and come up with the most shittest jokes as well. I'm like,
That's funny because I get ones like, "Oh, I've got a pimple on my ass. What's that mean?" I'm like, "You got a pimple on your ass?" I'm not quite sure. How do we go about this?
It's just I mean.
What quickly out of, because obviously we all kind of know each other, but also still, what are your first impressions of these? I guess no, but you kind of know James, of these two especially. What would you say is your first kind of impressions? And Barry, I'm gonna send this to you as well.
I think both of them kind of remind me of Beavis and Butthead.
Oh wow!
Wow! Fucking
He
hell.
doesn't know. He doesn't know what that is. But
The fact is, he doesn't know
Oh yeah,
who
no,
that is. and that
he
makes
has
it
no
better.
idea who Beavis and Butthead is.
Yeah.
I'm not a TV guy. I'm not a movie guy.
you didn't know my name for a while. You called me Jake for what, like 3 months?
You should be happy that I was just referring to you. In
But
it
to
as
be
anything.
you know,
well, here's
you know
the
what?
funny thing. He came
You
on and he
should
goes,
be happy I
like,
acknowledge
he
you.
goes, oh, Brad.
Whoa.
Brad was like talking to me. He goes, but he keeps calling me Jake. I said, well, fucking tell him then. And he goes,
Yeah,
like,
how much? If I keep calling you Jake, right? So if I call him like, yo, Barry.
You did call me Vlad for a while, so I
Vlad,
have
yeah,
to
but
tell
you,
you.
yeah, it looks like,
We've
yeah,
all
but then,
had
like,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
but if I call you something different and you don't correct me, who's stupid?
and the funny
Yeah,
thing
you-
was, he was so in awe. He was just like, yeah, it's fine.
I guess
I'll
I'm
take
Jake
it.
now.
It's a J.
I live by Jake.
It's a J name.
That's
My
my
name is
name.
Jake now.
Legally changes it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Barry? Do you have any? Because obviously you've seen Liam and Josh do your boxing classes, kind
Yeah,
of thing.
for me, it's weird to like. First, his beard was for me. It was like, what the fuck? I couldn't get over like, yeah, his beard. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, is that why everyone stares at me all the time?
Yeah, you're like
Everywhere I go, there's always someone just.
you're like a young Abe
You've got
Lincoln.
blonde hair and you got
But
black hair.
It is like an Abraham Lincoln.
It is.
Yeah.
4 scores and 7 years ago.
Yeah. Free the
You
slaves.
just, honestly, I mean, he just needs a pipe and
Yeah.
a farmer's
No,
hat.
Do you know what? That could be your gimmick.
Like,
You know, every
beaver hat.
fighter has their own thing. That could be yours. You know.
He's gonna come out in like a fucking like steam,
top
like
hat.
a steam,
Yeah.
like a steampunk MMA fighter.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Good marketing, man. That's different.
Yeah.
But-
I mean, I've got a bunch of things I could go with. I could go with the fish and the protein shake.
No,
If you
that's
wanna go
fuck
for
right
that.
off.
We're gonna
That's
kill
cool.
that.
Hang on,
Fish
it-
and a protein shake.
You don't want to
Oh,
know.
this is like fucking lore of the
He had
podcast.
canned
Sounds
tuna
disgusting.
and a protein shake as
No,
a
it was,
meal.
No, it
tuna or
was
is
it was
mackerel?
turkey jerky,
Oh,
fish in oil, and a Weetabix protein drink.
no.
He's
We-
like,
yeah.
It's
yeah.
like vomit.
He's like, he's got the taste buds of like a burn victim.
No, actually, I'm not gonna know. Brad's taste buds aren't much different. I'm not gonna even unpack your
Yeah,
ketchup on
I gotta
everything.
admit.
I've had to call the kebab shop and tell them, oh yeah, can I please get a chicken doner, no salad, just bread, no,
I
well,
don't do
and ketchup.
I do like a normal doner. Yeah, and I have ketchup on a doner. Well, like probably 90% of people who have a doner kebab have ketchup. Just gonna put it
It's
out there.
just
Don't-
chicken and ketchup. It's
No, I
sad.
don't know.
You know, it's
Who
just
has
chicken
ketchup on a
and
doner
Garlic,
kebab?
garlic mayo is the
Yeah,
one.
Garlic
it's
mayo
always
and
garlic
chili.
mayo.
Chili
It's
sauce.
chicken
But-
ketchup and pita. That's just not.
Ketchup with mashed potatoes, nice.
Lemon
Yeah,
juice.
do
Whoa,
you know what?
okay,
though? That
okay,
used to be
listen,
a thing I used to do when I was a kid.
Everyone
Mashed
here,
potato and
right,
ketchup
right,
is-
everyone
is fucking
here
awesome.
has tried a little bit of my kind of just cook myself kind of little fighters and little meals. Everyone's had a little bit, but not everyone. You've tried a bit of my food.
Yeah, you cook well, but
Yeah,
your
so
kebabs
no,
are shocking.
No, but I don't cook that though. Shush.
Okay.
Right?
I've
Yeah,
tried it.
yeah, yeah.
It was good. I will give
Was
it
that
that.
good?
yeah,
For something that
I
was
don't think so,
90%
not yet, no.
Pyrenees, it was delicious.
But
No, it's good. I'll give you
I'll
respect.
cook.
Credit where credit's due. You make good food.
yeah, and then also the thing with me is, I've ever suggested for something you to try, would you be like, I don't know, man, and it's always good. You're like, actually, that's fucking banging. Always.
It was a bit Pyrenees heavy, but it was delicious.
Yeah.
I will give it
but
that. It was delicious.
But I mean, like, I think my taste buds are good. I think they're there. You know what I mean, like, they're not like, I'm doing like, here, have some twiglets. Which is disgusting.
Why? It's nothing wrong with
You're
Twiglets.
not a twiglet.
Oh, I am,
man.
100% Twiglets.
Sums you up, man.
That's.
Sums you up.
Wow.
I bet you love Marmite as well, right?
No, fucking ain't mine,
No,
mate.
fuck
It's weird,
Marmite.
like, you know,
Who the
like,
fuck
This
put that
Marmite
Marmite
peanut
peanut
butter
butter
in
in flavour of Marmite?
Twiglets are Marmite.
No.
They are.
Well,
They're
I'll tell you something
Marmite
weird as
flavour.
well. I've not eaten a pea, so garden peas,
Talking about eating, here comes Barry again.
pre-podcast snack. I've not eaten a pea since I was 3 years old.
A
Refuse
pea?
to put
You haven't had a pea since you're 3 years
pea,
old?
Never. I will spit
pea.
them out if they're in my
Wow.
mouth. However,
Oh, you got like a decapitator or something?
yeah, something like that. My favourite vegetable is mange too,
What? Sorry.
which is
Mange
like
too, yeah,
baby
ba-
peas in a
baby
fucking
peas.
in a thing.
know.
It's weird as shit.
A monge, that's so bad.
That's so annoying. Yeah.
A monge
Such a
too
baby.
is like, is peas in the pod and
Yeah.
you'd eat the pod as well.
Yeah, weird.
I'd do that. It's not the
Right.
end of the world.
Who the fuck put that peanut butter Marmite in the cupboard?
Yeah, there's a peanut butter Marmite. Yeah, it's horrible.
I don't even like peanut butter, to be honest.
No, I don't like
Really?
peanut
That's
butter.
like a fighter staple though.
Not a
Like
fan.
that
I used
that
to- I
carries
used
me
to
through
like
fight
it, but
camp
then-
personally.
It's weird, the same with a lot of things. I like tomato ketchup, right? I like tomato sauce.
Oh yeah.
But you don't
I
like
don't
tomatoes.
like
Don't
tomatoes.
like tomato
I'm the same. I'm the
sauce.
same. I
I
despise
like
Same
tomatoes.
with, I love peanuts. Love peanuts.
Have you ever tried putting?
Don't like peanut butter.
Have you ever tried
Make
putting
a nut joke
ketchup
or-
on a tomato?
You
that-
put the same
that-
thing.
Have you ever
that-
tried putting
that-
ketchup
I
without a
thought you were
tomato?
chatting at the same time. What's that?
Oh, don't listen.
Have you ever tried having ketchup on a tomato?
What the fuck?
Why? No, that's sad. No,
Try it.
For me,
I've not heard of it.
like,
It's a sugary tomato,
with
isn't it?
tomatoes, right? There's such a powerful taste. If you have any sandwich with a tomato, and it could be ham sandwich, it could be a cheese sandwich, it could be anything else. All you do is taste the tomato, right? So if I put tomato ketchup on the tomato, I'll just taste the tomato anyway. So like,
I think we should
It's
try
like a
this.
flavour,
I think
it's hard
after
to-
this
But why
podcast,
you
we
see
should
when
do
I-
it.
the only time, honestly, the only
One
time
month.
I've ever ate a tomato off my own back is when I had COVID to prove that I can't taste nothing. And watch this.
See?
And I said, look, I could eat a tomato. Look, it does nothing.
It's
you
quite
know?
interesting actually, because I seem to find they're quite dull. I can't taste them. There's not much to it.
You are.
Just like you,
I
eh?
like tomatoes. I'm not gonna lie.
No,
No, I know, I love it. Just like him.
Just
Just like him.
tomatoes with
There's
salt.
not much to it.
You put salt on some tomato, it's a really nice.
It's delicious.
It's delicious.
So on anything.
Bruschetta
What
is
about
like one of my
bruschetta?
favourite things in the world.
What's that?
Bruschetta.
Bruschetta. How do you say it?
Oh,
Bruschetta.
Bruschetta.
Beautiful.
But that's cooked tomato.
No, it's raw.
It's
Raw.
not.
Yeah, it's
Huh?
raw.
Bruschetta? No.
Bruschetta
Raw,
is
yeah,
raw.
raw,
It's
yeah.
raw.
It's raw, yeah.
Yeah.
Just
The only
spread it.
thing, the things I like raw, is carpaccio.
Oh, I was wondering where you were going there.
And pussy.
Yeah, come on.
Sorry.
Yeah, well, someone had to do it. Someone had to do it.
I don't know. You looked at me. I think was you waiting for me to?
I was
say
waiting for
that?
someone,
No.
man. I don't want to lose my job as a kids coach.
Do you know,
Give it to me.
can we go back a few minutes where we were talking
Too
about
expendable.
the first time we met?
Yes, yeah.
Can I
So,
say my story about Josh?
please.
So I can't remember the first time I met Josh.
I do.
But one funny time was when, obviously, I don't know if you guys have spoken about this in the podcast before, but Josh has lost like insane amount of weight
Yeah.
over the past 2 years, which is cool. So we were doing, I think it was a Saturday morning boxing class, and he was partnered up with Zach. You know Zach?
Oh,
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
So-
Teenage Zach, right?
Teenage Zach. So
Yeah.
I think Zach's such a nice kid. He kind of keeps himself. He's very respectful in my class. He like barely says 2 words to me. Just does the class, gets on with it. But we were doing like this thing where one person's on the pads here, the other team has to run to the end of the cage and back, and then do 10 more punches. Each person does it once each on the team, and then you
Sure.
add up how many they've done.
Sure.
So I was like, right, guys, give your partners, like good inspiration, push them. They're all like, yeah, come on, let's go. So I'm like, guys, come on, a little bit more. So they're like, okay, let's go. Then I stop the class. I'm like, guys, you don't even care about your fucking partner. Push them, make them work. And Zach, yeah, honestly, back me up
I
here.
remember.
Josh already goes, come on, you're not fat anymore, you ginger cunt. And he started laying into Josh. I was like, whoa, Zach. And he was like, God, you fucking... And he was like, honestly, he kept calling you fat because you used to be fat. Do you want to be fat again? Remember me and you were like this. And they won.
No, we got the buzz.
They
Made
won.
me run away from him.
Shout out to Zach. Wow. Did that actually fuel you? Do you feel like?
Oh no, I was more scared than anything. I was like, what the fuck? What's he gonna do if I don't run?
Actually, I remember the first time I saw you was at our open day. You came in, you trained for about 10 minutes, and rolled your ankle really bad.
During Barry's
remember
class.
that?
Yeah.
And another time...
I felt so bad. Oh shit! You know, I opened there. We got a kid's broken her ankle.
It was my
Looks
fault
pretty
though because
bad.
he did the MMA one.
Mike
I was
Ekendale put you to
do the
sleep,
beat-
didn't he?
Do the
The
yeah, he
boxing.
did.
Oh yeah, no, never wanted Mike. I can put you asleep. I'm like, what is
It's just
this
open days,
about?
isn't it? It's just open
We
days.
do have an open
Well,
day
we're
coming up
gonna
on
open
the
on the
4th.
4th, yeah.
Just stay at home. Just stay at home.
You don't do well at open days.
It's not my day, but yeah, I did get put out with Mike's. Was that an anaconda?
Probably,
Yeah,
yeah,
Anaconda.
yeah.
All I remember.
Mike's got quite
Yeah,
a good anaconda.
Mike's
big
got a very
anaconda.
deep.
It's the
anaconda,
famous
yeah.
words.
Yeah.
I'm going
he's
live.
He's
Yeah.
made many man
Many
suffer.
man suffer.
Felt
Yeah.
his
Clip this.
anaconda.
Yeah. Once it's on you, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
No, but I just remember it going on, and he was like, "All right, we're going live now, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna do it for real." But it was on before he did the full move. So you know when you do an anaconda,
Yeah.
like you're in
Yeah.
like front headlock
Yeah.
position, and then you roll. It's like he didn't roll yet, and I was already fuck. I want to
Yeah.
tap.
Yeah.
But I was like, he's got to finish the technique because like, everyone else doesn't move. And I was like,
Wow,
for fuck's
this is
sake,
This is
sacrifice.
Joshua in a nutshell.
to
But
tap.
also,
Noble.
Mike's
Noble.
Mike is such a cool guy, right? I mean, like
Yeah,
chill,
yeah.
relax. Yeah.
Yeah.
He panicked. Just oh my Brad, oh my god, oh my god. You know, yeah, Mike, he's just choked out. He's fine. He's not dead. But it's like
Yeah.
the panic in Mike.
Yeah.
He's like, oh.
I loved seeing him the next week because I saw him sat down on the sofa. I just walked in, stood there staring at him. He just looked at me and goes, "I'm so sorry." I was like, "It's fine, it's fine." I was just pissed that I wasn't there with a camera. That would have been fucking awesome.
All I remember
But
happening.
talk about
was me waking
choking
up.
out. I choked you out the other day.
Oh.
You did.
No, but that was
Yeah.
voluntary. That was
Oh,
voluntarily.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. But I mean, for me, I think it's a
Sorry.
good thing to have.
Because I didn't
But
get any...
one thing with this, you posted on social media. And it's for that I'll repost that.
No, no,
Never
no.
in a million
Yeah.
years.
I wasn't
No,
expecting you to. No,
The
But
funny
that's
thing
what it
was, when
That's
I
what I'm
got
saying.
showed that, I was like, please Please tell me he's not posting that anymore.
Yeah, I didn't hear about this, so I'm just scrolling through Instagram,
Okay,
going
no,
through
do you
my
wanna know the truth?
stories,
Do you wanna know the truth?
and then I
Fine.
just see your neck being fucking wrapped around by Brad. So I'm just like,
You spazzing out on the
Okay,
I just
so
like the
what was the
reason why it
backstory?
happened.
What was the reason?
Okay,
Backstory
so
is
I
I'll do the backstory because this is how I walked into the thing. Dana goes, Brad, if you choke out,
Oh,
choke
yeah.
Liam out, you don't have to pay me for a week.
Wow, what
I'm
the
like,
fuck did you
That's
do?
a pretty good
I'm
fucking
like,
deal.
I want to save some
Yeah.
money. So
Cost
he
of
said
living
that-
crisis.
Dana said that.
Dana said that, yeah.
What the fuck did you do to Dana?
Then we're just joking and that sort of stuff. Right? And I said, look, to be honest, it's not a bad thing to have because a lot of people tap out to fear. Like the fear of the position rather than knowing where they're... everyone's just banging this so much.
Sorry.
Let's get professional.
Okay, we'll have to edit that out. But
Yeah. So,
No, I'm leaving it in.
everyone kind of taps out to the fear of the position
Yeah.
rather
Yeah.
than the choke itself. So
Not me.
sometimes when you get on, you get defended and you don't know. As many times I've been put in a bad choke, maybe not rear naked choke, maybe a different sort of choke, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm nearly going, and then they adjust it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't tap,
Yeah.
and then I get out of the position. So many times for me, so I always say that it's quite good to know where it's at and not have that fear of the ground. So what I used to do years ago as well, I used to always say to people, let me get behind you, let me choke you out. I've had it done to myself, choke you out, hold your arms out in front of you, and when I know you're gone, and I'm holding you. So
Yeah.
so then you just have your little fidget and you wake up and that's it. And also the reason I always film it is not to
Legal
put on
to use in
social,
court.
not to put on social, not to put on social
You consent to
media.
this.
The filming is to go because a lot of times when I've choked someone out,
I
they're
don't
like,
believe you.
"Go on, man." And I'm
Yeah.
like, "No, I actually just choked you out." No, you didn't. I'm like, "I did. I swear I did." And I'm like, "What's the video?" I'm like, "No way."
Yeah, no, it's like when
Get-
I woke up on the open day, you were like, oh, you went to sleep for a second. I was like, fuck, did I really?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
because it just felt like I went to sleep.
Can you tell a story about you put Mike Brown to sleep when you came here?
Oh, that
Oh, I was there. I'm so glad
amazing.
about that.
Oh,
Was
you
so
did,
good. I was there. Yeah.
So like, I put Mike Brown to sleep a couple of times, right? I tell the first.
Tell
story
people about
first.
Mike Brown.
Yeah,
Yes,
definitely.
some people don't
Okay,
know.
if people don't know Mike Brown has been one of my best friends for many years. When I first went out to American Top Team, he was the first person I kind of met. We just hit it off, and we've been best friends, training partners ever since for our careers. Now he is one of the head coaches at American Top Team, and I honestly think he's the best MMA coach in the world by far. Anyway, so that's that. So but me and him, like I say, we competed, man. We used to beat the crap out of each other. At times where people stopped us sparring. I remember one time we had a high-level boxing coach at our gym called Howard David Jr. was an Olympic gold medalist. And then out of nowhere, me and Mike Yeager, as we do, me and Mike Brown just started sparring a little bit, and we had like 10-ounce gloves on. And it doesn't... You compete, right? So it starts off like... And you hit me back harder. I'm like, what are you doing? And then it just escalates, right? Always
I want to
does.
see where this
I
goes.
was,
Right.
yeah, I was hoping that to escalate.
far?
I was hoping.
But it just escalates. And then next thing you know, me and just Michael just
We get more
throwing,
views.
we're throwing down like crazy haymakers. And honestly, Howard said, goes running over and goes, guys, what is going on? What are you doing? And we're fine. What are you on about? He goes, you're mental. You're mates. I'm like, I don't care. Honestly, we wanted to knock each other out for bragging rights. 100%.
Is that where the term retard rounds came from?
I
Yeah,
mean,
you stopped me and Zach for.
yeah. You
Way less
I
than
don't get a lawsuit against me. but it's like, but for me, it's like because we were good mates, but we competed, right? So that was like me and my brother. So just giving a little bit of a backstory of my brother before I just go to the story. So we used to do the thing. For me, he was my kryptonite, right? I learned a lot of my stuff from him, as in like just mimicking him. Kind of, he was a boxer wrestler as well. If I felt I excelled against him in one area, definitely been my boxing. I was a better striker than him, but he had fantastic wrestling and ground. So he used to always murder me, right, on the floor, just because he just had my style, but his weight class above me, a lot more physical, a lot more stronger. I remember the first time I choked him out. Yeah, again, we were just messing around in a wrestling warm-up like we were doing. Like, say we do it, and we just kind of like, he got in on a single and he wasn't supposed to finish. He was trying to finish it. And I sink in the choke and he's trying to finish. The next minute, I put him asleep in training, right? And he's asleep cold. And I'm like, oh shit, who's watching? And like, he's on the floor, like, doing all this. And I'm like, oh no. And
just start running, just talk around.
Literally, I'm like, I hope no, the coach is seeing, what are you guys doing? You know,
I was never here.
Just like, you shouldn't be doing that. What are you doing?
Just
like,
a corpse.
And then he wakes up, and he's walking, he wakes up and starts going, oh yeah, what's going on? What are you looking at? He's like, where the what's going on, kind of thing. So I told him what happened, and he's like, all right. And then anyway, cut the long story short of that, I paid for that, right? Because he was like not in a live situation as such,
Sure.
but I choked him unconscious.
Yeah.
That night he goes to me, oh yeah, let's do some drilling. Okay, yeah. And after we've done a bit of drilling, he goes, let's do some grappling rounds, right? He raped me, honestly, so bad. I'm a very competitive guy, right? So I'm going. He's trying to get me. He's going for me, trying to get me and stuff. And I'm defending everything to tooth and nail. Like, you're not getting this. Then he gets me. I'm like, oh fuck. Okay, right, cool. Then we got to get. You got to say he got me so many times. I just like, okay, whatever. I didn't fight it anymore. I just let him abuse me. He broke me. I literally got to say, he just smashed me. I just accepted him. All right, yeah, you can take that arm. You want this one? Okay. He just abused me. So I paid for that, right? Anyway, so that was the old story. But then he came here, right? And he was with one of his fighters. What was it? Carla Harrison, right?
Oh, yeah.
The PFL girl. Right, so here and they're doing some filming and we're just chatting. They had a good little drilling session and lots of stuff. And at the end he goes, oh, you got any new sort of like techniques and stuff like that? And I'm like, yeah. We should just exchange a few little bits here and there, and I'll show them some of this. He goes, oh yeah, cool. He goes, oh yeah, I got this really good anaconda defense. I'm like,
So I hope Josh, you're listening, by the way.
was it anaconda? Or,
It was
or
anaconda.
was it
That's
glass?
because we were talking about the mic thing. It was anaconda.
Oh, anaconda.
And that's why.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't even have a good anaconda, right? So like, I put the anaconda on, right, and then I'm like, put it on, and I'm like, he's asleep. He's asleep. And so I find it just so funny. I'm just like, what are you doing, Mike? You know, and
He's come to do the seminar.
Yeah,
Right?
and yet again, he stands up. Yeah, what's going on, guys? Yeah, just walking around thinking, what the fuck's just happened, kind of thing. And I'm like, Mike, everyone, like Carl,
and Kayla's laughing.
We're
She's
all just
laughing.
pissed.
Yeah.
It's on camera as well. We're all just pissed and stuff. So like, what are you doing? And he goes, yeah. I forgot to tell you, it doesn't always work.
Everyone started laughing.
Yeah, and I'm like, this is like, I'm like,
Was it busy?
I was like,
I
I said, but what was the defense? He goes, you just got to push it up. I mean, like, that doesn't work, Mike. I mean, like, no. He goes, he's not. Yeah, I meant to say sometimes it doesn't work. I'm like, no,
I think
it doesn't.
You actually, showed me a really good defense. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how.
You showed me as well.
I don't know how practical it will actually be. When after you've locked it up, right, if you're in front headlock, and then obviously you want to roll over the same arm that you've locked up.
Talk to him, Brad. I'll just chill out.
Fall on them. For me,
No.
you fall backwards on them. Anyway, I know what you're going to say.
Bad's
right?
obviously said something.
No, but I know. For me, I am very hard to anaconda, right? I think I've had a very good anaconda defense. I'm very tough in those sort of positions. I do a peek out or an arm drag. I'll fight the hands. I'm very hard to get submitted in those positions. But most of them is because of me and my resilience, right? But Vad just made up this move. This is the beauty of this sport. Because I've done it before. I remember Mike used to have this other move he used to do all the time called a scorpion. And I remember it was tapping everyone out with this. Guys, it's been very weird.
Sorry.
So my band has this other move that he had. It's called a scorpion, right? And he was tapping everyone out with a scorpion. No one knew what to do with it. And I'm like, it's like a really nasty neck crank, right, from the front, from north-south sort of position. And I remember once he get me in this position, I'm like, oh no, you're not. And I just remember grabbing his head and he was trying to put it on, and for me grabbing his head, he couldn't get any leverage, and the submission didn't work, and I'm like, Mike, you can't do that to me anymore. He's never done it to me ever.
Yeah,
I just naturally panicked and held him, and then that actually was the defense, just holding their weight down, and he after he goes, don't share him on that, bro. Because he was murdering people with it. I'm like, oh, okay.
I want some money.
I said to him, I said, I literally am the cockroach, where I always find a way to survive in some way. But I mean, like, Vad came out with this move of how he defended the thing. And I'm like, no, that's legit. I mean, that actually works really well. And again, we've done it with Michael Cadero. For me, he's the best anaconda in the gym. I go with Mike.
Yeah. But that's the thing.
Put it on, Vad. Let's go.
Yeah.
What happened?
But that's the thing, because Mike had a reign of terror with that anaconda. Like, ask anybody, it was like Mike's thing. Like, everyone was scared about it. Like, as soon as you're in front headlock, you're like, fuck.
He's got
no one wants to see Mike's anaconda.
No, Mike's anaconda was
He's a scary man.
But I got the.
Everyone's felt Mike's anaconda.
Yeah, everyone's felt. But I got the vaccine.
Except for Bad, he took the anaconda from Mike.
Gobbled it all up.
I handled it. But I'm the snake charmer. But I just figured it out. And then the first time he was kind of like, oh, it's a fluke. He was like, oh yeah, no, I'll get you a next time. And then I did it again, and then just because something just clicked in my head, I was like, what if I just don't let them roll me? Because obviously with the anaconda, you have to roll them onto your side. I was like, what if I just don't do that?
My defense is I let them roll me, and then the one I used to momentum, the arm drag out.
Right.
But even still, that is tough to do. And
I'm not gonna lie to you. All you fucking do is just sit on their face. It's not literally you just.
That's what she said.
That's what. Well, it's a very effective technique. But
I feel like that would be effective against many techniques.
Yeah. Just to clarify, you handled Mike's anaconda very well.
I handled Mike.
Well, you came in like 2 minutes after the rest of us made that joke.
That joke's come by.
So just to clarify, when Mike's giving you his anaconda, all you have to do is sit on his face.
Yeah.
See, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. Yeah. Harry, you already had that.
Yeah.
Very well done. Yeah, well done.
That's good.
I like
That was the best joke that could have been made out of that scenario. So that's good.
I just used the.
But yeah, so that's honestly, in terms of my career so far, that is one of my most proudest kind of things so far.
Can I ask you guys a question? Literally all of you guys know more than me about grappling stuff. How
Can I give you a little bit of advice about podcasts?
Yeah.
When you're chatting, do you hear me? Do you hear this? Just if I talk clearly into the mic, so you actually have a nice. I'm not gonna lie, you have a nice voice.
Soothing.
Yeah, I think you'd be good for like commercials.
It's like cowpole for the ears.
You'd be good for like radio.
Too much of this.
Sorry, I was just want to get my point across. So I was
They
wondering.
just sound rapey.
Also, a lot of people do love Irish, so you don't have much of an Irish accent, do you?
Yeah,
Could you turn it on though? Could you turn it up? Like,
When
when you see a family,
you go back to Ireland, you come back.
Can I tell you a story? Honestly, this is what I used to do. On my first job in London, I used to work at Turtle Bay as a waiter in the restaurant. I swear to God, I would do this. My manager would be like, Barry, you got a new table. If they were like a table of girls, like women, not girls, females over the age of 18.
Thank you for the clarification.
Who have been allowed into the club.
Yeah. Like I'd walk up, get ready to take the order. Literally, I would say the same thing every time. Who's it going, girls? You alright? Can I get you a drink, or do you want to order your food straight away? Oh my! And they say, okay. Can you say your name and everything and stuff? And then I used to just finger it. Then I used to just, that's what I used to do all the time.
Yeah. My name's Barry.
But what was I saying?
You were going to ask a question about grappling.
Yeah, back to no more
before Brad interrupted.
From finger into question.
How important this whole stigma about in MMA being scared? Let's say for you, okay? Let's say you're a good grappler, wrestler, whatever.
Let's imagine, yeah.
Okay. Did I say that?
In an alternate universe.
Did I say that?
No, he's making a joke.
No, you are.
I'm joking. I'm sure.
And
Humble brag.
You're fighting a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt.
Right.
Black belt given them from doing the gi.
Yeah.
Does that matter as much as they make it out to be?
I mean, from my perspective, I think it's one of those things you're always going to be like, okay, he's a black belt. You give him that respect. You give him kind of like a bit of respect.
But he's not a black belt in MMA.
But I'm not going to lie to you.
I can pause you in 2 seconds. It's a lot different in different stages of your career. if he faces a black belt now in stage of his career now, 100%. Because you know what that means to be a black belt. That's 8 years of training.
True.
So what do you think to be a black belt? How much time you put in on the mat? So again, that's experience. How long you been training?
I started 14, so in total about 5 to 6 years.
Yeah, he couldn't be a black belt by this time, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
But to be, so again, if you think me find a black belt, whatever.
Because Nathaniel subbed to the black belt on his debut.
Yeah.
I've fought black belts. It doesn't really matter. I've submitted black belts. But if I start in my career as an amateur and now I'm finding a black belt, it's like, whoa.
I'll take him on though. No, fuck it. Set it up, Brad. Set it up.
No, but I'm saying, yes, it is different because again, the sport's ever evolving. I think obviously things have changed a lot from back in the days of the UFC 1s and 2s where Hoist Gracie came in, then his little slap takedown. I don't know how that would work.
I hit that on Yuki once. I just want to say.
What you called the hoist?
Yeah, I hit the hoist. I literally went bap and then
you slap it, you slap,
and then shoot.
Do you hear that? You slap in front of their face, to get them distracted while you go for takedown.
Disorientated.
It's just like.
But it used to work. It was because no one knew what the fuck was going on.
What was he doing? You know, like anyway, and it'd be like the worst takedown you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
I mean, even then, back in those days, you get a rear naked choke like this.
Yeah.
Like, and it just worked. But obviously, sports ever evolved. But for me, the sports evolved so much more. Now, I don't fear gi. If you go against a 10th planet jiu-jitsu guy, or if it's a purple belt on the 10th planet, you're like, oh, this could be tricky here.
Oh, who's 10th planet?
10th planet is no-gi. You know, like a lot of people. It's like they don't really. You don't really grade in no-gi, but they have a grading system. Okay. So if you went someone who trains a 10th planet and they're like a brown belt, you're like, whoa, this guy's gonna be. You can do some like up, down, upside down. You know that he's gonna be tricky on the floor because they're so used to grappling without holding things. But also then yet again. For me, grappling in a gi, you don't have to be athletic. You know, you just have to have a good grip and a good mind. You know, grappling without gi, athleticism is there. You have to be athletic. You know, Yo Romero is going to be hard to tap in no gi.
Yeah.
Just because he could just throw you off. Where in gi.
But also strictly,
so
to interrupt you, but also going on from that, it's like in the gi and the no gi, I'd say a person who's proficient now, because like the sport's changed, a person proficient in leg locks, who's a purple belt, like really fucking knows his leg locks, can probably submit a person who's only does gi black belt. Because it's a whole different one.
They don't do leg locks.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Leg locks is kind of the newest iteration of how
it's the dark arts now. You know, it's the new kind of thing that's
join
like
the dark side.
But the whole thing about 10th Planet is that the fact that it was completely designed for an MMA application almost. Eddie Bravo, the whole reason why he did it was because he wanted to see jiu-jitsu come away from the gi and go into MMA in itself. But I suppose nowadays it just kind of. You know from different elements or different schools, you know what kind of style you're going to get. Thanks for that, bro. My microphones are pretty sensitive. So
honestly, the most sensible thing he said.
I do suffer from ADHD and ADD. Just had to add it in.
What's that got to do with your arsehole?
That means it's named as flatulence.
No, it does actually have something to do with my arsehole because
it's to do with his really bad diet.
ADD is linked with that attention deficit disorder. I need attention, and
but do you find that
somehow?
Sorry to interrupt, literally, but going on to ask about that. Do you find that affects your kind of position as a coach? Like with how do you? Coach?
I would literally
because he walks into my office and goes, "Hey, daddy, what are you doing?"
ADHD is the only reason why you guys have your own opinion. Why I think I'm a good coach and why I think. Okay. I can work kind of long hours coaching because I feel like
he entertains himself.
I need to burn off energy. I think
he does need to burn off.
2 weekends ago, I slept like 12 hours from Saturday night. I just completely crashed out working all week. I was so tired. On that Sunday, I was just supposed to chill out. My missus said, "Okay, I'll just chill out for the day. Don't go out anywhere and do something." I was so like, I was so wound up because I didn't burn off any steam, really to the point where I felt a bit anxious, I have a bit of anxiety, and I was like, eventually like 6-7 o'clock I just had to just go out like a fucking horse in the field. I just had to go out and move and then come back in.
That's
Maybe I should train.
I like that message.
Just like you.
Maybe I should start training.
Yeah. Well, you did do the jiu-jitsu classes, man. You were doing really well
Yeah, it
with
was
that.
too easy, man. It's
Too juicy.
I
It's
really
easy.
wanted to roll with you as well. I was really itching.
Remember
to roll
our
with you.
role?
I'll tell you why I stopped, because dickheads like Josh, Liam, Zach especially, they're like, oh, Barry's the boxing coach, dude. Let's just kick the absolute shit out of him. I'm like,
I was
I literally
gentle
was
with
just, I tapped out to Josh 3 times because I was tired.
I
was
remember
like,
coaching Barry
just
while he
gave
was
up.
rolling with little Johnny.
oh, I
Because
fucked
he
up.
was,
the
he
other
was
time. Fucked him
talking
up.
hella shit towards him. So
I
was
actually did mess him up
coaching
though.
I know. I was like,
Yeah.
connect the bicep, Barry,
20
connect the bicep.
times
Yeah.
heavier than him.
And older.
Age is gonna do it. Size has.
Yeah, Johnny's tough, but
Shout out Lil Johnny.
Shout out little Johnny.
So you diagnose ADHD and all that sort of
yeah,
stuff? right?
ADHD and ADD. Yeah,
Man, this is one thing I find out nowadays is everyone's got something, right? What do you have?
Don't ask.
I mean, I've never been diagnosed.
I
by a
mean-
doctor,
I was-
I've never been diagnosed.
Yeah, self-diagnosis.
I mean, would you
I had
class
to do
overthinking
tests
or
and stuff.
something?
Yeah, I mean, everyone nowadays is weird. I mean, like, my son now had a test. He's dyspraxic. I'm thinking, what the fuck is that? You
It's
know, like,
just high functioning, or like autistic spectrum disorder.
yeah. I mean, like, now. I mean,
I have a dyspraxic
But
kid.
you think back in World War II when you're going out, I think, oh, sorry, mate, I can't do that, man. I'm ADHD. You know, maybe, okay.
Well, no, they'd slap a helmet on him and get the fuck out of there
Yeah,
anyway.
mate, just get fucking on with your life. You know, why do you need to, you know, this and that? He's like, I mean, me, I'm just finding it so strange nowadays. Literally, there's so many, like Nathaniel. I can't do that. I have, what was he saying?
OCD.
Anxiety, OCD or whatever. It was, oh, Jesus, you know, no one can do nothing nowadays. You you gotta be careful what you say. It's so weird. I'm a bit primal maybe. But it's just like, you know.
Imagine Brad
you
as
can
like
see
a
I definitely have
diagnostician,
ADHD
like,
though.
No, yeah, 100%. But I didn't know that.
fuck
I was
wrong with you?
I'm just
for me,
fascinated.
Get out.
I'm just listening.
for me, when I was younger, it's just a hyper kid. Or he's got.
That's just Barry.
No,
That's just Barry from the block.
That kid's got a lot of energy. I don't want to think, oh, that's
Yeah.
because of this. It's like, you know, it's always.
I distinctly
why is
remember.
that-
But you know what?
Why
But-
do you have to put these people
I
in
remember-
boxes and give it a title?
But at the end of the day, it's all neurological. It's all chemicals in the brain. At the end
Everyone's
of the day, so it's just
different in
definitions.
some-
Yeah, but it's just
some way, yeah.
defining what these chemical and reactions in the brain are.
Yeah.
Is maybe his signals fire in a certain way. That's just the title of it. Doesn't it's people that add the connotations?
But then, yeah,
that's
people-
the problem.
yeah,
it's the
right.
connotations,
think-
not the label.
I think the problem is that they're better at looking at things like people's like personalities and how they deal with things, and it's good to kind of
So what am
know.
I?
It's not. It's,
what aren't you, bro?
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
but
just-
I mean,
just-
why am
You're
I-
dyslexic. You are.
I'm dysle- I
you are
am dyslexic.
Yeah,
But that's
Mine like
not
a
like
bear
a,
trap.
that's not a personality thing, though, is it?
it can be.
But
yeah,
it's not,
100% can be.
It
Is
can
it?
be if you want to make it.
What does dyslexic people? What personalities do they have then?
Because you get frustrated because you can't spell something, you get
Yeah.
angry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You do a lot of voice notes. That's
Yeah.
quite.
You are the
that's
king.
all I do.
You are the king of voice
Can I
notes.
say
He's
it's
the
the bane
king
of
of
my
voices.
existence
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
Just me. Just one of the things being at this gym now is just the voice. Me having to adapt.
It's
to
a
voice
culture.
notes.
It's a
I do it
culture.
all
It's a
the
voice
time.
note.
I'm
I do
not
it now
used
as
to
well.
it
I
at
can't
all.
lie, Brad. That's one of your biggest influences.
And I had
Yeah.
to.
It's
the
I had to
voice
learn the
notes.
hard way.
You just-
And even when it's like a serious conversation,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
have
yeah.
to,
Why?
hey, just let you know, I just like to do voice notes.
Yeah,
Here's the thing.
Yeah, I have to explain to people
Yeah,
why
yeah,
I do
yeah.
And
voice
also,
notes.
the reason I like a
I'm a
voice
voice
note,
noter now.
but there's reasons behind it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because when you write text, thank fuck for emojis, right?
Mm.
Because it gives
Can't
you,
get
it gives you a
emotion.
little bit of context of how that's being said.
Thumbs up.
So if I went, "Are you fucker?"
Trademark.
and I put a
Yeah,
laughing
yeah,
face, or like,
It's the
"You
thumbs.
fucker." Depending on how you are and how your mindset, how
Yeah.
you read that is how you interpret how I
Yeah,
said
yeah,
that.
yeah, for sure.
But then you won't get it. But if I do a voice note, you 100% know if I'm being serious or I'm joking. You know my tone of
Okay,
voice.
okay. So you say you fucker now in a happy way, and then say it in a like a just so we can have the.
Okay.
so-
You fucker.
okay.
Right? You fucker.
Okay. That's quite. That's
different.
quite.
Fair
And
enough, fair
see.
I felt that. I felt.
Both spelt the same.
Brad for the gram.
On a text message, they're both saying. So how you receive that is on you. That's why I hate text messages too. That's one reason, right? But yeah, again, emojis helps out a lot because you can put a laughing face or I can put a mean face or nothing after. And you, if I put you, CUNT, don't be that loud in this. And if I put, but I'll put a laughing emoji after it. You'd be like ha. But if I just put that, you'd be like.
Oh dear.
Ooh, have I upset him? Yeah, how many
Maybe.
times have you probably done that? Because you have a bit of OCD as well. How many times you're like, wow, oh God,
Yeah.
I upset that guy. Is he, don't know.
Why has he left me on 2 blue ticks?
Yeah,
Bad.
don't go in that.
Oh, that's.
Anyway, that's a different story.
Can we just all agree on this podcast that if you're a double grey ticker, you're a snake?
Yeah.
Can we just? Yeah, I'm so glad.
Daniel Wood.
Can I just mention really quickly? You'd have been proud of Vad the other day. I will big him up just
Oh,
for a
me?
moment.
Okay.
So there was.
Vlad or Vad?
Vad.
Said,
Did you say Vlad?
I didn't say Vad.
James, we know each other
We can
better
rewind
than
the
that.
tape.
We
Everyone
know
knows
each other
what
better
happened.
than
No,
that.
stop. Don't try and instigate. So we have our little podcast group chat kind of thing, and usually, if there's one person that is guaranteed not to be part of majority of conversations, it's Vad. Obviously, he's busy.
Can I
He's
just say,
busy
I'm
being
in
a
fight camp.
fighter,
I'm training
yes, he
for the
is.
fight of my life here.
Very
I'm
much so, but,
working
you know,
hard, and I'm just.
How hard is it to touch the screen? But anyway, it doesn't matter. But I came back.
He's
to,
like, oh my God, don't get me started.
I came back to a conversation and I didn't see not 1 but 2 thumbs up. So I was quite impressed. I even made comment to it. I made comment to it. I was like, oh, it's like having Brad in the chat. It was.
Yeah, but what I was saying, Merz, like, for me, communication is so important. It's one of the best gifts we have as a human being, to be able to communicate with each other. And I find it so frustrating when someone can't. I get it's all different, like in person. I've never had a problem with that ever. He's always chatting. But he is if I can send you a message, you read it, you get back to me. It's just one of those things.
I just think that we weren't designed as human beings to be able to communicate to each other for so long, and so I kind of, do you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of one of the things as
but
well.
Then also, look, honestly, we're different age demographics, right? So I'm not asking you about, did you watch that movie? Normally when I chat to you, it's about a fight or important stuff. So if that goes unread,
no, of course,
like,
that's different. Yeah, that's different.
What are you doing in your life? But then go back to what I said before we go down a different rabbit hole. So this is why I do voice notes as well, because another infuriating thing with text messages is this. Yeah, bad. Oh, send me a text message about doing pads at the same time. Just pretend you write down.
Okay, yeah. Right. Dear Brad, may you please find time to do pads with me.
What the fuck kind of fun have you got?
Alright, Bad. What?
Blackberry.
Ready? Alright, Bad. What day are you looking at?
At your best leisure.
Okay, I think I could do Tuesday or maybe Thursday. How's that work for you?
I've got kids class, but it should be okay.
So what time then? We do that after the kids' class? I mean, straight away, how long has that fucking took, right? And that took so long in between him maybe going and having a shit, picking up the messages and stuff. And it's a 2-second voice note I could just do, or call, and you get it sorted out straight away. That's what I hate about text messages, because I text him, you want to do that, and then the next day I get back to him about, maybe we could do it tomorrow.
Yeah,
And then
100%.
you get,
100%.
I can't do tomorrow now, but can you do? It's just like too long.
Yeah. And going on from that, I can give you a little life hack. Sorry,
But that's Vad's fault.
right.
That's nothing to do with text messages.
No, I'm just giving that.
But you can, on
text
WhatsApp,
message makes things so
Yeah, it
much
does, yeah.
slower.
but on WhatsApp now as well, what you can do is with the voice notes, you can change the speed of the
Yeah,
voice
yeah,
note.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
always put it to 1.5.
Yeah,
So
me
whatever
too.
you're saying, it'll go quicker, so I can hear it even better.
No, but then I have another
Let's
rule.
get Brad Pickett on
I have
on times
I have
two.
Hear
another
this.
rule.
Go on, because
Right.
I've got a story about this.
If you do a voice note over a
Over a
minute,
yeah.
you have to call me. Now I have people with this where they do a voice note and they see that it's getting and they stop it and they go, well, that last one's just in close to minutes. So I have to do another one now.
Yeah.
It's cool.
No,
The reason I like this because I've had 5-minute voice notes.
Yeah, that's
How
mad.
the fuck am I supposed to remember what happened in the first minute if you ask me loads of different questions?
Yeah.
I'm thinking,
Yeah.
and then I'm like,
Makes
well,
sense.
now I've got to listen to that 5-minute voice note again to answer it properly. So it makes no sense.
Well, here's the funny thing. So my favourite interaction with you was I mistakenly, through no fault of my own, I didn't know the rules. I sent like a 1 minute 20, 1 minute 30 voice note.
Yeah.
And Brad was like, oh yeah, I'm not sure if you understand this. And he proceeded to explain to me the rule, but the actual message that he sent me was like 1 minute and 3 seconds.
Sorry.
I did go and stand in the corner and I had a word with myself.
Right, unfortunately, we're about to run out of time because
Oh,
literally
shit.
we're almost at 2 hours. So it's all
2
coming
hours?
into it. Yeah.
This was a
Man,
longer
Sarah's got weight. I was
edition.
going to go out and get on top of her, but no.
Well, I mean, you still could, but you know.
No,
it's
well, she
bloody-
just kicked me off.
No, fair enough.
But I
Always,
suppose
always wishful thinking.
I'll try that.
It's one of those things. You say it, believe it, achieve it. I'm
God,
trying to put it out there.
don't go bisping on us, Jesus.
We have time to ask Brad one question.
Very kind of, yeah, go on.
How long do we have?
Very kind of.
2 minutes, 3 minutes?
No, we've got a little bit of time, but we're literally running out of memory card space.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so this is my sentimental moment where I'm going to say something nice.
Sentimental hour.
So, for me, I find like if I go to a funeral, I don't know, I feel like I don't cry at funerals, or I have my own things that kind of make me upset. Like there's movies or things that most people would cry at, but
They trigger you.
Yeah, but I kind of don't cry. I don't know why, but like, a few things that I don't know. When I was hungover, if I go drinking with my friends back in Ireland for like 2-3 days, I used to be hungover, and I used to watch videos of like when Susan Boyle came on Britain's Got Talent, and everyone was like booing her, and then like, I was like, oh, I used to kind of like bit upset. One of the scenes in Rocky I was upset about, but one video, honestly,
Susan Boyle to Rocky. That has got to be the
That-
most diverse.
It's a Rocky story, Susan Boyle.
yeah, they're my things.
She looks like she's been up by Rocky.
But the most newest thing that I feel
Oh, it's okay, you got this, man.
that I kind of I just shed a tear, but a bit not crying. I was like, was Brad's speech on his retirement in the cage. I thought it was awesome. It was like when Brad was choking up, I was like, because I know him personally, he was my friend.
Yeah.
I was like fuck, like
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think a lot of people messaged me and said they cried that night.
Yeah, I just thought it was. I wish I always say to myself, oh man, I wish I just knew Brad, even if I just met him a month before that fight, just to be there and stuff. But that's my question. What was that like, man? That speech, it must have been like
No, it wasn't for me. I honestly can't remember the speech off my head, but I remember the whole thing of going into my retirement fight. It was so weird. It's like I always found it weird when I retired how I did. Well, most people would retire from the sport is through an injury or getting sacked or something like that. For me, I told people when I'm going to retire, this is when I'm retiring. And it's kind of weird where when you die, everyone goes to the wake and goes, oh, you know, I missed that guy, he done this. You know, I mean, I remember that time he done, like, I was alive and I was at my own wake, if that makes sense. Where I could hear what people, I got a news thing in my, like a news article thing, the UFC done like a paper for me in my office, and it said what they said about me, what Dana White said, and they're right. So it's weird. Everyone said really nice things about me. And the whole week was just so emotional for me. It's so weird. The whole camp was weird. My last time I'm doing this, that I haven't been back to Megan talk to him since, you know. And like I haven't been there. I'd love to. I want to go back there, but I haven't been back there since I retired. So like, there's loads of those sort of things. It was emotional, and then the whole fight was emotional. Me doing my walkout, me all that sort of stuff. So it was at the end. I knew I was gonna cry, win, lose, draw, whatever. You know, it was always gonna be emotional.
And then you left the hat in the middle.
That's
literally like a movie moment for sure.
Yeah,
it was a great speech.
But the thing is, I going just quickly on from that is I played as you before I knew who you were. I used to play UFC too.
Did you win?
I just, I was pretty good. Yeah, I was pretty good. But I just literally picked you because I was like, oh, there's an English bloke. Let me play as him, literally. But I didn't know who you were at the time. So, yeah, decent stats though, so it was alright.
Yeah, of course.
Did you button bash with Brad?
But yeah, but here's the thing.
Overhand right.
I'm not gonna lie.
Did you win a belt? Because I never managed to do that.
So let me tell you this, okay, quickly. So there's ranked mode, right? And obviously, if you pick the best fighters in that division, you get less points because you're using someone OP, right? But you were in that sweet spot where you can get just enough points, but because you weren't overpowered, but you weren't shit where it's like, I can't win with Brad Pickett. So you had the sweet spot where I was able to really
come on, Brad.
I mean? So I got the points and I got quite.
Did you win a belt?
Oh, I was sick.
Yes!
Come on, Brad. I got you.
I did make you a champion.
Yeah,
there was a reason why I was on this podcast. I realized I will achieve
that to the end,
my
Dad.
goals.
I'm sorry, yeah.
I achieved it.
There we go. And on that
I
note,
could do that for you.
And then that's it. I'm going to leave my hat in the middle.
Now he's retired.
it's been real.
Watch now.
Really
I did think,
retired.
like,
He's going to retire from podcasts now. That's it. Gets no better.
Yeah,
Still got it,
Still got it. Well, thank you guys for tuning in on this edition of the Unusual Prospects. If you liked what you heard, then make sure to give us a follow and keep listening and stay tuned. And if you want to give Brad Pickett a follow and Barry Healy a follow, they could use the followers.
I could use followers.
Yeah, they